right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who rule well. And also honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect and are out there teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. So, I wanted to talk about something that that's been on my mind for a little bit. Not for a little bit. I don't want to make it sound like I was thinking about this for years. But, it's been on my mind, and I wanted to, talk about it a little bit. And that is making sure you're cognizant of how you treat people. And not I'm not worried so much about people in the world, but people who have shown that they believe in this truth. They're showing that they believe in the same things that you believe in, that they want to be a part of this ministry. We know that there's an order, right? And we know that there's people that may be lower than you in that order, right? They may not even be necessarily a part of the same order, right? Like we can think about like somebody that might be from another camp, right? They're not under the same order as we are. We under the GMS order, but the fact still remains that any man who believes sincerely on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right, believes on the Most High and His Son, belongs to the Most High and His Son. They don't belong to you. They're not around to meet your expectations. They're not around to serve you. They're around to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And we have to remember that sometimes there's going to be people that rub us the wrong way, but and then sometimes you'll be able to call it. Sometimes your spirit just is vexed by a person. But even with that being said, you take a mental note of it, right? Matter of fact, right? Check this out. Oh shit. I don't know what I'm spelling wrong. Something's wrong. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Divisions. This is Romans 16:17. It says, "Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them." Right. So I was using this to say that you make a mental note of it and you stay away from them. But even in this scripture, it tells you somebody who's being contrary to what you've learned, right? And if the person isn't being contrary and they're just they're kind, right? They're trying to be in the mix. You gotta watch them. You gotta pay attention to what's going on. Not everybody that rubs you the wrong way is a wicked person. Sometimes, I know I'm annoying. I gotta be, and I will hope that a brother could find it in his heart to, see that I'm trying to fight like they're trying to fight, because I could be overbearing at times. I'm sure I'm a serious man might be mad because I'm always giggling about something, A laid back person might be annoyed that I'm always trying to teach a lesson about something. And so, I know I could be, overbearing. So, I try to keep that mentality, and like, what, I would want somebody to, forgive me for these things. I would want somebody to, have patience with me and accept me, so I try to do the same thing. So I got a couple of scriptures that I wrote down, that that speak to this a little bit, and hopefully, it can be edifying, and somebody can learn from it. So, I want to go to, I don't know which one I want to start with. Let me start here because this one is a little different, right? To me, anyway. Exodus 23. All right, 23 and 9. It says, Exodus 23 and 9. It says, "Also thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for ye know that the heart of a stranger, seeing ye were strangers in the land of Egypt." Right. So what I'm talking about is not necessarily about being a stranger in the land, right? But the sentiment is this: you have to be, aware. Well, I don't know if aware is the right word, but considerate, right? That you at one time were at the level of somebody that was coming in. You were at the level of a spectator. You were at the level of a bystander that was hearing this word. And in understanding that, what if you should ask yourself the question: what if somebody treated me the way I'm treating this person at that time when I was on the other side? Like I've been a guy, a spectator at the camp of the elder apostles. What if they treated me the way, some of us treat, other people that are spectators? I wouldn't be in this truth. I wouldn't have made it, They wouldn't have saw it in me that, that I wanted to be a part of this thing, And you have to remember that you were in that position too. You didn't always have understanding. You didn't always have the eye salve. You didn't always know what to do in certain situations. You had to learn it. And just like you had to learn it, somebody else that's coming in after you is going to have to learn it. Matter of fact, that reminds me. I didn't think to write this down, but let me see. Oh, sorry. Oh, damn, I'm off. My fingers are all in the wrong place. Oh, my Lord. What's going on here? Okay, I'm going to have to fight for this one. Let me see. Yep, this is it. This is the one right here. Let me go up a little bit. There's a little bit of reading in here. So bear with me. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. This is a good story. This is Matthew 20:1. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers in his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and 9th hour, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? Right? It says, they say unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He saith unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when even was come, and the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, These have wrought but 1 hour, and now has made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden of the day. But he answered one of them and said, Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst not thou agree with me for a penny? Take that thine is, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. Right? But so, this is speaking to, look, I was in this thing before this guy. I don't have to treat him the same way. I'm above him. But it don't go like that, man. You trying to fight for mercy, just like the next man, and we have to remember that. We have to remember that. And I'll tell you, me personally, there's been times where I didn't like a certain person, or a new guy, a Johnny come lately might have come around and they may have rubbed me the wrong way, and I would deliberately force myself to like him. I would say, I'm gonna like this dude. I don't care what he does. I don't care what he says. I'm gonna like this guy. And what ended up happening was I ended up really liking the guy. And that's what happened. Now you know that your feeling about him was just you being, emotional. You had it pin wrong. And then if you do that, right, you force yourself to like the person or be kind to the person, and he still rubs you the wrong way, then you say, okay, all right, I'm gonna back up off this dude because my spirit ain't meshing with him. But still being cognizant and not know, because you don't know who that man is. You don't know who he could be, So let me go from there to the next scripture I have written down. Let me go here. This is Romans 14. And let me say this, man. I was just thinking of this. There's some people that just ain't right. And you're going to be able to tell immediately, right? But the scriptures talk about being blameless, right? To them that are without. So, in that same sentiment, you treat the man the same. You feel the way about him, right? But treat him the same. Treat him the same way you would a brother. And that way, nobody can hold you blameless for anything that you've done, man. I mean, anybody can blame you, I should say, for anything that you may have done or offended him in some kind of way. Okay. So this is Romans 14 and 1. The point that I want to hit is in the 4th verse, so I'm going to read. It says, Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not. You see? Sometimes people ain't going to be on your level, right? And this is what being a minister is, right? Paul talked about condescending, right? Sometimes you got to come down to the level of somebody that's under you, so that you can receive him, and he will receive you, and ultimately receive the word, right? So like, right? So it says, let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not, and let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth, for the Most High hath received him. Who art thou, is the point, that judges another man's servant, right? Because all these men, from the least to the greatest, belong to who? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And he's got them there. He put them in the place that he put them in. And you gotta be aware of that, because just as you've been brought in and being and have been fastened, you can also be loosened and cast away. Don't ever think your spot is final, you know. And you gotta think about other men in the same way, right? It says to his own master he standeth or falleth, yea, he shall be holden up, for the Most High is able to make him stand, right? And the Lord can, scriptures talk about turning a stone into a child of the Heavenly Father. So if he could do that, he can turn a man that you look at and you have disdain for into a man of the Lord, a strong and powerful speaker, strong and powerful brother, you know. So you don't, you gotta be, cognizant of these things. I mean, I'm speaking to myself, So let me go to this next one. Hebrews 13. It says, Hebrews 13:2, it says, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares, right? So in other words, what? You don't know who you're dealing with sometimes. These men that you're talking to could be, one of the men that walk with the Lord Yahweh Shai. You don't know. Matter of fact, what is that? I wrote the scripture down, but not the book. Stupid. Oh, I know what that is. But real quick, yeah, that's the one I want to go to. This is Matthew 19:28. It says, let me see. It says, and Yahweh said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. Which means what? That these 12 men would come back, right? That they would come back and be on these 12 thrones. You don't know who those people are. I mean, we got an idea of who some of the apostles may be, right? But you don't know which one is which, right? Which brings me, what is that? Is that where that is? Yeah, yep. I'll go to this next one here, because this is gonna say what I wanted to say out of my mouth here. So I'm gonna start right here. This is Matthew 25:31. It says, when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth sheep from the goats. And he shall set up on his right hand, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was an hungered, and ye gave me meat. I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink. I was a stranger, and ye took me in. Naked, and ye clothed me. I was sick, and ye visited me. I was in prison, and ye came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee and hungered, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, verily I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. You see? When you are kind, right? When you're considerate of the least of the brethren, you're doing that to the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. You know? That's not exactly the one. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, let me try. Let me try it. And if it's not it, then I'll type it in. I usually like jot down the point that I wanted to make from the scripture that I write, but I didn't do that. Yeah, this is it. So this is Matthew 18:1, and this will be, I'll close with this one right here. It says, at the same time came the disciples unto Yahweh Shai, saying, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Oh boy. And Yahweh Shai called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them, right? And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. You see? But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. You see that? So you got to be aware of these things, man. Look at him, man. Look at him in his eyes. You know, the scriptures tell us that a man's countenance doth show witness against him. You'll be able to see the spirit in him, and if he's got it, you know, you got to trust in the Lord. You know. So with that being said, I hope that was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Dash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS who rule well, and honor and salutations to those of you who are of the hopeful elect. And with that, I say shalom.